This is what most people think persuasion looks like. Talking louder, piling on more facts, trying to win. But has this ever worked? When was the last time someone shouted you into changing your mind? Exactly. Real persuasion isn't a battle. It's not about proving a point, because the moment someone feels pushed, they push back. Real persuasion, it's invisible. It doesn't feel like persuasion. It feels like their idea. Like this one time, I just asked my coworker, "Do you actually enjoy meetings?" He came back a week later and said he booked a solo work retreat. He thinks it was his idea, but I planted the seed. That's how subtle it can be. And that's exactly what I'm about to show you. Step 1, mirror their word. Make them see themselves in you. People don't trust strangers, but they do trust reflections of themselves. So, if you want someone to listen, don't start by talking. Start by mirroring. Match their energy, their words, their perspective, not in a fake way, but in a way that says, "I get you." Because when they see themselves in you, they stop fighting. Try this. If they lean in, lean in. If they pause before speaking, pause too. If they cross their arms, wait a few seconds, then do the same. They won't realize it, but they'll feel it. And when they feel understood, they listen. Step 2. Don't lecture. Facts don't change minds. Emotions do. And the fastest way to emotions? Story. Stop arguing. Start storytelling. Because a fact tells someone what to think. And that's why when you argue, people brace for a fight. But when you tell a story, they drop their guard and step into your world. And that story makes them feel the world you just created. Instead of saying, "You're wrong about that business idea," say, "I had a friend who thought the same thing until he lost everything." Now it's not a fight. It's an experience. And experiences change minds. Step 3. Use strategic questions. Let them persuade themselves. People don't resist their own ideas. The strongest arguments aren't spoken, they're realized. And questions make that happen. Because a statement puts people on the defensive, but a question, it slips past their defenses and triggers curiosity. Instead of saying, "You're making a mistake," ask, "What would you do if this plan backfires?" Now they're not resisting you, they're questioning themselves. And that's where real persuasion happens. Socrates never argued, he never forced his ideas. Yet, he changed the way humans think forever. How? By asking the right questions. He'd walk through the streets of Athens, stopping scholars, politicians, and craftsmen, not to debate with them, but to make them question themselves. Instead of saying, "You're wrong," he'd ask, "How do you know that's true? What if the opposite were possible? Could there be another way to see this?" And suddenly, certainty turned to doubt. People thought they understood their own beliefs until Socrates made them realize they didn't. He never imposed ideas. He made people dismantle their own. And once their old beliefs crumbled, new ones took their place. That's persuasion at its highest level. Not by force, but by guiding someone to think their way out of a belief until they step into yours. Step 4, reframe the conversation. People don't reject ideas. They reject the way those ideas are presented. If you argue with their frame, right versus wrong, good versus bad, you're already losing. But shift the frame, and the whole conversation changes. Imagine someone saying, "Crypto is a scam." You could argue back, or you could reframe. Maybe some projects are scams, but isn't the real question how to manage risk in new technology? Now, it's no longer a debate, and strategy is something they want to engage with. Reframing turns conflict into curiosity. It stops resistance before it starts. And once the frame changes, so does their perspective. Here's the truth. The most persuasive people aren't the loudest. They don't argue. They don't overpower. They make you feel heard. They guide, not push. They plant seeds, not demands. And by the time the conversation ends, you don't remember being persuaded. You just remember thinking, "That actually makes sense." That's the real power. Not forcing, not convincing, just leading someone to the point where they believe it was their idea all along. Power isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's not about crushing the opposition. Real power, it moves in silence. It shapes conversations without force. It leads without announcing itself. The most persuasive people don't look persuasive. They make you believe you arrived at the truth yourself. And that's why it works. Want more mental blueprints like this? Click the next video, Why Overthinking is Actually Your Superpower.